Peace and love, y'all. Welcome to the Feedback Loop. I'm Nyiam. Today, I wanted to make a video about a recent major news event that occurred. Some published data, remote viewing data, with this ongoing experiment trying to see future events. So I want to demonstrate the use of cryptographic hashes to verify the publishing of remote viewing work. Because when it comes to precognitive, anything precognitive, obviously there's skepticism, and rightfully so. And, I'm not one to take people's word on face value. I need proof of things. Just me saying I did something before it happened is not good enough, right? So over at Crypto Viewing, we publish our data on a private website. So it's not available to the public. Our subscribers may know that something was published in advance because they got to see it in advance, but we usually publish the really good hits after the fact. So if we get a really amazing hit, our subscribers saw it, but when the general public sees it, they just have to take our word for it most of the time. They can't really verify that. They would have to take my word for it or take Crypto Viewing's word for it. And that's not good enough, right? So even before I ever started working for Crypto Viewing, I got in the habit of timestamping my work on the blockchain. So that's a third, that's a not, you don't have to trust a single person. You know how the blockchain works. It's a distributed network. So using the blockchain and cryptographic hashes, I publish a hash of my session to the blockchain when I do it. That way, later on, anyone can verify the actual time and date I published the work by checking the hash of the file. And it sounds confusing, but I'll explain here. It's not really that complicated. So onto the data here. In March of 2023. Every month, but in March of 2023, I did my remote viewing work trying to perceive the big news events of the upcoming month, April 2023. That session was published on the Crypto Viewing private website, and we also discussed it on a video call on March 31st of 2023. And I'm going to show you a part of that video clip of me talking about it back in March, on March 31st. Or it was published on March 31st of 2023, describing my impressions. So let me switch over to this browser view. So the event in question here, the event I'm talking about is the killing of Jordan Neely. And, if you've been paying attention to the news, this occurred on May 1st of 2023. So here's the Wikipedia page, the killing of Jordan Neely on May 1st, 2023. A homeless 30-year-old black man was killed by Daniel Penny, an ex-Marine who placed him in a chokehold while on a train in Manhattan. Jordan Neely, the man who was choked, died from compression of the neck. So he was killed by a chokehold. And this is a really big story right now because, not only the race baiting type media publications, but Jordan Neely, the man who was strangled, was homeless and suffered from different mental illnesses. And so it's just a very controversial topic in general. So New York City medical examiner has ruled a subway passenger was killed by a chokehold after a fight with another passenger that was caught on camera. Officials say Jordan Neely's death was caused by homicide from compression of the neck. Video shows the incident, Mr. Neely, 30, struggling as another man grabs him and holds him on the ground. The video for this is online. I'm not going to show it because, I'll play the news clip, which shows some of it, but I don't want to show this whole clip. It's kind of disturbing kind of stuff here. But here's a short bit of the news clip.
In this story is disturbing. Tonight, there is growing pressure on the Manhattan District Attorney to bring criminal charges after a man was choked to death on the subway Monday.
He could not breathe.
Jordan Neely ended up on the floor of the train in a headlock after police say an argument turned into a violent confrontation. When it was over, Neely was unconscious. EMS attempts to revive the 30-year-old failed. The medical examiner ruled his death a homicide by chokehold. So far, there are no criminal charges. The 24-year-old who held Neely in a headlock was taken into custody and then released, according to police. The video obtained by NBC New York shows Neely in a chokehold for nearly 3 minutes. The witness who took it says Neely got on the subway and was acting aggressively.
Okay, so, you get the gist of it. I'm not here to argue about the story or, take sides or sympathize with anybody. I'm here to discuss and show the remote viewing data here. So here's a video clip, published on March 31st, of me describing some of my impressions.
Today's Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. Time is 8:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Didn't say anything yet. All right, Edward, thank you. Very, very good data. Nyiam?
Next month. This one was very fleeting, but I just gotta go with what I get. This looks like someone getting strangled. Silent assassin type story from behind, suffocated, but a significant strangulation murder story. Possibly, hopefully not. So that was the clip there of me describing some of my impressions of what I saw for the upcoming month. Here's the screenshot of my drawing alongside the screen cap from the video. So you can see the similarities there. That the hat that Jordan Neely's wearing, kind of like the curls on Daniel Penny's head, and just the overall position and posture of the man, and of course the description: strangulation, suffocation from behind. Here's a little animation that I put together, kind of overlaying the two images. Let me zoom this out. You guys can see this a little better. Yeah, so when it comes to proving the date of publish, right? So, I come out after this event happens and I'm saying, oh, well, I already saw this. I already said this was going to happen in April. It occurred on May 1st. And, I've talked about this in previous videos. Time is slippery with the subconscious. It's not unusual for the time frame to go beyond 30 days, but this one is pretty much right on point. This one happened on May 1st. Cryptographic hashes. So the blockchain uses something called cryptography, cryptocurrency, and in order to validate my work, to prove that I really did publish it before the date, before May 1st. I timestamp my work, and I use this site called memo.cache, and it's basically a Twitter type website, but it actually publishes everything you tweet or that you post, gets written onto the blockchain, so you can't go back and change it or modify it in any way, unless if basically for me to go back and change and modify anything, technically I should be able to steal everyone's cryptocurrency, and I would be a trillionaire. So beyond any reasonable doubts, there's no way I could go back and change or fudge this data. So here's my profile on memo.cache, and it's mostly, as you can see, random strings of words and random strings of numbers and letters and names of files, PDF files. And what that represents is, using cryptography, you can create what's called a hash. So you take a file and you run it through a cryptographic encryption process, and that creates what's called a hash. And I'm using what's called SHA-256. So if I take my session and I turn it into a PDF file, and then I put it through a SHA-256 encryption, it's going to give a string of data that looks something like this. It's going to give out what this is called a hash, a cryptographic hash. Now, this cryptographic hash is unique to this data set or this file. If I go into that file and I change something, so let's say I went, opened that PDF and I went later and tried to add in a new drawing and saved it. If you run the file through SHA-256 encryption again, it's going to be a completely different hash number. It's not going to be, if I go in and change one point of data in the file, it's not going to change one letter in the hash. It's going to bring out a whole new string of data. So this hash is unique to this file. There's no way to fudge this, right? If once again, if I could steal everyone's cryptocurrency. So you can see here 60 days ago, I published a file. It says NFE April. That for me, that stands for Near Future Events April, Nyiam2.pdf. And there's a string, hash right there. So that's my marker on the blockchain. So if we click on this, we can actually explore this and see the data on the blockchain. So this is a website that allows you to read the information off the blockchain. And you could see down here, it says 1 month ago, but it's more like 2 months ago now. It says March 25th, 2023. And you could see down here, there's my hash, NFE April Nyiam2.pdf. This is written into the blockchain. There's no way I can, March 25th, that was published. I can't go back and change that. No one can remove that. You'd mess up the whole blockchain now because everything that came after was built on top of this. So there's the, the cryptographic hash. So this shows that this hash existed 60 days ago. Okay. So if I'm telling the truth about my work, if I really, to publish this when I said it did, then I should be able to take that file, the original file, run it through a SHA-256 checksum, and it should produce the same hash that was published 60 days ago, right? So that's, anyone could download this file. I could give you this file. You could run it through this, and it should produce the same hash as that was published. I'm going to drop it in here, and I have the file. I'm going to drop it in this SHA-256 checksum. Okay, so there's the string right here produced by this file that I have. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go over to memo, and I'm going to press find. I'm going to paste it, and there it is. This is the same. This file matches this hash, which was posted 60 days ago, which was my, my predictions looking forward to the major news events. So hopefully you can see how that works. The hash acts as a unique signature for a file that can't be fudged or made up or changed. And that's posted. Instead of posting the actual file, I just post the hash. That way I don't have to break my non-disclosure agreements with my employer. I don't have to publish the data for everyone to see, but everyone can see that I did publish something. And then when it needs to be verified, I can produce the original files and they can check it against the hashes. And that's done regularly. Like if you go to a website to download a file, usually it'll have a hash and it'll say, check this hash to make sure you're not downloading a virus, make sure you're downloading the actual file that you're supposed to be getting. So yeah, if anyone would like to have that file, I'll be more than happy to send it to you, and you could run a SHA-256 checksum on it yourself and verify that indeed I did publish this March 25th, 2003, looking forward, and on May 1st, 2023, the events unfolded with the strangulation of Jordan Neely, the suffocation, chokehold, murder. So, hopefully that was interesting. It's kind of sad to see what the world is coming to, the things that people do to each other out here. But yeah, hopefully this is interesting. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace and love.